Begin this vigil dedicated to the Cosmic Christ and Magdalena for peace in the world. And also following on from the vigil at 8 o'clock this evening when we talked about the Cosmic Christ. It was amazing, wasn't it? Using as a blueprint the wonderful book, The Coming of the Cosmic Christ, by Matthew Fox, whom I see as a 21st century Martin Luther. And he really poses challenges for our community, which we're actually doing right now. We embrace the Cosmic Christ. We embrace the Divine Feminine. We embrace Gaia with the company of heaven through the natural world. So there's a beautiful message there for all of us as we come around this table and unite our hearts with the Cosmic Christ. I begin by quoting from the book that we read this evening, and though our vigil has been only 4 nights a week because we've been so short of presenters, volunteers, I'll try and cover the vacant spots by reading from this amazing book, because it is full of love, full of energy and hope. But it says here, Jesus cited the following passage on the first Christian Pentecost day, understood as the day of Yahweh. After this I will pour out my spirit on all humankind. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Your old folks shall dream dreams, and your young ones see visions. Even on the slaves, men and women, will I pour out my spirit in those days. I will display portents in heaven and on earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. The sun will be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the day of Yahweh dawns, that great and terrible day. He talks about there is a deep cosmic imaginary in the announcement of this day of Yahweh, this day of healing of the cosmic pain, the mystical awakening that foreshadows a global healing is presented as a cosmic awakening, an awakening to a living cosmology, to a cosmic Christ, alive and vital in all creatures and in all humans, young and old, slave and free, male and female. Let us, my dear brothers and sisters, come as brothers and sisters, yes, friends of the Cosmic Christ, for we were called by name. You and I were called by name. And we know without the anecdotal evidence that we were anointed by Jesus in his incarnation as the barefoot Galilean. And it was Magdalena, the high priestess of Isis, the twin flame of the Christ, who anointed our feet and commissioned us to be a vortex of light in this incarnation. And that is why when we gather here, there is an affinity at soul level. And that is why there is such reciprocated love to each one through this channel, the community room, the oratory, the basilica, the synagogue, the temple, the place of peace where hearts are reawakened to divine love. We, you and I, are not strangers. In this life may be, but at soul level we are connected. And that is why we are here. And we are connected to many more at soul level, but they have chosen to stay on their own path for whatever reason, whether because it's safe, secure, non-threatening, because it doesn't present too many challenges. I don't know, but one thing I do know. And I know it now more than I've ever known it in my life before. These are exciting times for those who have surrendered their heart to the cosmic Christ, the beloved. These are exciting days, for He is speaking through all of us. He is touching us. He is healing us. But He's preparing us to be the loricas. In Gaelic Celtic spirituality, loricas mean pillars, pillars of wisdom. And we shall prophesy in His name. We shall prophesy in the name of the beloved. Once we've surrendered our heart and take everything as it comes without procrastination. Let us be still and let us take each other by the hand and let us walk in celebration of our gifting. We spend too many days focusing on what has happened in our life. We waste energy by dwelling on the pains and the hurts, as I have done when I lost everything through Prozac, when I even lost my health and almost ended up a statistic in the Irish Sea. But thank God for my pet dog, Shimola, for had she not barked, I would have been in that stupor with suicidal ideation 16 years ago. But God does not give up on His children, their children. And if you truly believe that in your heart, then no matter what your baggage is, whether it's drug addiction, alcohol abuse, mental illness, physical disability, or sexual abuse, they are the keys that have unlocked the mystery, and that's why we're here. Because had those events not happened in our life, then we would not be here. We would be doing something else with someone else. But as St. Paul said, oh happy fault, oh happy fault. What has happened to each one of us, however tragic and traumatic, it was a key from God to unlock the mystery of our coming home to truth. But in our brokenness, in our weakness, in our disabilities, whether it's mental, physical, psychological or spiritual, if we surrender our heart, then the cosmic Christ uses our disabilities as His ability to touch lives. Do you believe that? I do. I believe it now more than I've ever believed it in my life. And it takes away the pain. It takes away the struggle. It takes away the fear. Because you know you are in the will of God. You know in your soul, deep within your being, that you are loved regardless. And that gives us the inner confidence of knowing that despite what has happened to each one of us, there is hope, there is light, and there is a richness of blessings. And we are being blessed today to be other cosmic Christs. Because the moment we surrender to His love, the more we become Christ dead, an extension of the Christ. We are not the Christ, but we become a continuance of His presence on earth. And through our hearts, we become the brides of Christ. What a gift, what an honor to be called by God into service as a prayer partner for peace. And God sees us as we are. He sees us in our vulnerability. He sees us when we're on our lowest ebb, hanging onto life by a thin thread. He knows, and all He asks us to do is to kneel and surrender and invite Him in. And that takes real courage. And I can only speak for myself. But I just want to share this with you, and then we'll allow the Christ speak. Just bear with me, I'm being guided here, and I'm trusting in my heart. I am aware, as you are, that the cosmic Christ who was practiced, the love of, was engaged with by the hearts of mankind, where ordinary men and women did not have an issue with talking and praying to the cosmic Christ, but on the altars of greed and spiritual arrogance, the representatives of God have put all of that on the back boiler as being New Age. And the moment they removed the feminine aspect of God from ministry, from the Council of Nicaea, the church became predominantly male ego driven, and there was an imbalance of energy. And today, more than ever before, religion needs a new cosmology. It needs to embrace the divine feminine aspect as well as the masculine aspect of God. For we cannot exist in a loving relationship with God without that balance within us. Let us call on the angelic realm, the messengers of God, to imprint on our heart the importance of being in balance, where we are both male and female, in our understanding of God. God is male and female. And that allows us to come to the Supreme as a beloved child, where we come to our parent, Father, Mother, God. Let us relax at this table and let us be still. For the Christ has much to say to all our hearts, for he knows the Teo community are totally committed to his love for peace. And though we've all been tested, almost crucified at times, for daring to be different, for daring to embrace the cosmic Christ, where we've incurred the wrath of established religions who will not acknowledge the presence of the cosmic Christ. But we do, free of restriction, and we embrace the spirit of Christ's word. And we are free. We are totally free to come and go and to just be, to bring our spirituality into our loving relationship without ridicule, where there is no pressure on us, only the invitation to be of service. As we sit at this table, we see an empty place, but we notice we've heard a door slam, and that door is the door to this room that we are in. And in the distance we can hear a fanfare. Yes, a fanfare. And the door opens and there's a wind that blows the hair on our head and dusts us down. It's like a tornado. It comes right into the room and right out again. And when everything has settled, there in that empty seat is the beloved. What an entrance! The whirlwind of God, the spirit of the four winds, brings the Christ to us now. And he takes a look around this table and he notices some empty chairs. And he isn't using language or words, but he's asking us, why are they empty? And we are responding, they've been invited, Lord, but they chose not to come. And he looks at us. He pierces our eyes. And he says, but you are here. Why? Why are you here instead of sat watching your television set? Why are you not just lounging around like everybody else? What do you say to him? What is your heart saying to the cosmic Christ? And from behind him is Magdalena. And she sits with the Master, her beloved. And she whispers in his ear. And he gives a nod. And the nod allows her to come to you. She comes to you and she's right behind you and she places her arms around you. Feel it. Experience the feminine touch of God enfold you, and she's releasing from you now your anxieties of your past, your painful memories of the past, and she's bringing to the fore what you're really thinking, feeling. And she leans down and whispers in your ear, and she asks you a question. Whom do you trust? She asks it again. Whom do you trust? And you appear startled. And she asks you again. Whom do you trust? And you lean your head back on her, and you turn your head slightly towards her, and you say, the Master. I trust in the Master. I trust in Him who gives me life. And she then kisses you on your crown chakra. And she says to you, well done, well done. You are safe now. She returns to sit by her beloved, the Christ. And He is smiling, for He knows He can trust us. He knows that we are not fickle, fair weather followers who give lip service, who impress everybody with the right language, the right words, they've read the right books, they've done the right courses. He's not impressed with that. He's only impressed with the heart. Is the heart open and receptive to His gift of life, to His gift of love? And He looks at Magdalena and she says, yes, we are one with Him. We have the marks of the crucified Christ in our body. They're invisible marks, and He can see them. And He knows that we have paid the price and will pay the price for our love. So He lifts His hands up and He says the prayer of Malachi, breathe on me, breath of God, fill me with life anew, that I may love what Thou dost love, and do what Thou wouldst do. And now He calls you. You come to Him. And as you kneel before Him, He lifts you up. And He said, no, sit by my side. Allow me be your friend. It has not been an easy journey for either of us. But Magdalena asked you 3 times, who do you trust? At first you were scared. The second time you were indecisive because you knew that you trusted yourself. But the third time you said, the Master. And He asks you to look into His eyes. And there you see the kingdom of God that awaits you for honoring your heart. And he draws you close to his heart. And he says, have no fear. I am near. Draw a line in the sand at what was. Let it go now. The memories to do with yesterday should not be brought into this day. For you give them power each time you talk about them. You let go now and allow me heal them. But if you keep bringing them back and defending what has happened, you are giving your power away. Let go and allow me be. Your master, your brother, your teacher. And all will be well. You were asked 3 times, who do you trust? And you said, the beloved, me. Well, if you say you trust me, then you will trust me now. And Jesus looks at you and something is happening. The Spirit of God is upon you. And he is commissioning you to be his heart to the world. To the world. And to be a prayer partner for him. Be still. And let his love enfold you, empower you to take the biggest step of your life, the biggest, the greatest, the most powerful step that you have ever taken in your life. To step out of your life, of your past life, to step out of your memories that have destroyed you, and to step into his love and walk with him in service to love. And he is now commissioning you with the outpouring of the Holy Spirit to take your power back from everything and everyone. Be at peace. And the Jesus concludes with a message that he shared with an enlightened being for you and me, and I'm guided to share it from him. My face is shining upon you, beaming out peace and that transcends understanding. You are surrounded by a sea of problems, but you are face to face with me, your peace. As long as you focus on me, you are safe. If you gaze too long at the myriad problems around you, you will sink under the weight of your burdens. When you start to sink, simply call out, "Help me, Jesus," and I will lift you up. The closer you live to me, the safer you are. Circumstances around you are undulating, and there are treacherous-looking waves in the distance. Fix your eyes on me, the one who never changes. By the time those waves reach you, they will have shrunk to proportions of my design. I am always beside you, helping you face today's waves. The future is a phantom seeking to spook you. Laugh at the future. Stay close to me. That is a testimony of that meditation, for I have not read those words before, and they are the words for the 15th of January. If you say you trust Him, you have a lifetime to live that trust. Embrace it well. Embrace it with all your heart. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to your company again. Same time, same place. Namaste. And in the words of Francis, may God reward your soul, O beloved one, for you are a millionaire in the kingdom of heaven.